video, we are going to be talking about PowerPoint. I love PowerPoint. If you've seen enough of my videos, you'll know that I love PowerPoint, but we're going to talk about some tips and some new features that PowerPoint has that can really level up your Teachers Pay Teacher products. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, my name is Lorianne, and if you are new or returning, welcome here at It's All Primary. We talk teacher side hustles, and yes, PowerPoint. I made a video about a year ago. I'll put a clip of the thumbnail and I'll have it at the end of this video. So if you want to watch that on Google Slides versus PowerPoint. I like Google Slides. They're easy to use for the most part. They are free right now, but I love the way you can manipulate things in PowerPoint, and I'm going to show you a few things. There have been some recent changes and new features added to PowerPoint, and that is another reason why I like PowerPoint, is that they are always upping their game. And particularly with these last couple of years of us being online, they now have some more online integration features, which are a real plus. Let me talk about some new features. Let me talk about some features that I use a lot, and there's a couple people online who I will kind of highlight, and if you are interested in learning more about PowerPoint, check them out, okay? So before I turn the camera around, there are two versions of PowerPoint. There is an online version, which is called Microsoft 365, and then there is the download version, which you can buy Microsoft Office, you can buy PowerPoint for business. And while I'm saying that, please make sure that if you are wanting a legitimate business, that you are actually using PowerPoint for business. It's part of the terms of use that they have, that the regular one, home and student, I think it's called, is used for personal use, right? Whereas the business one is for your business. It doesn't cost a whole lot extra. Let's just keep everything legitimate. And just a friendly reminder, please do not use your school PowerPoint for your business. I've heard some horror stories, I don't know if they're true, of people who their schools now tell them that they now own their products because they were created on school technologies. I don't know if that's true. But anyways, just keep your stuff separate. End of my TED Talk. But a couple months ago, Microsoft added some new features to Microsoft 365. Very exciting. One is still in the beta, and that is Cameo. Cameo is this feature where you can now put your video into your PowerPoint. And I'll show you a version that I have. So they've always had something similar to this, but the Cameo is kind of a one-up. I don't have the beta version because it is only on the Microsoft 365, and you have to apply for it right now. I don't have Microsoft 365 except on my school, so I'm not touching it. But if you have it, if you have Microsoft 365, you can apply. You just have to go to Microsoft, their website on Office, and apply. See what happens. I'm going to direct you to, his name is Kevin Datfert. I apologize if I'm butchering your name. I'll have a link down below. He does technology reviews and things like that. He's got some great videos on PowerPoint and PowerPoint tips, so you can check him out. And his short video on Cameo is clear, easy to follow. One of the other things that you can do in the online version of PowerPoint that you can't do on the regular Microsoft download is exporting. Okay, now you can do exporting. You can export your PowerPoint to PDFs, you can export them to JPEGs, you can export them to PNGs, right? You've got options. But this one is a little bit different. This one is exporting Word into a PowerPoint. Why would you need that? It really depends on how you take your notes. Some people take notes on a Notes app. Some people take notes and type them into Google Drive, which is what I tend to do, or my Evernote account. I put them in Evernote. Depends on what it is. I also have a paper planner. What you can do if you are a person that likes to type your notes into Word is you can actually export that straight into a designed template of a PowerPoint slide presentation. So you could actually create a PowerPoint presentation. It'll just bring it all over for you, which is really nice. I mean, normally I just copy paste, right? I do the same with if I'm typing in a Google Doc. I just copy paste. But this feature, like I have never used it. It's fairly new. Like I said, I don't have the online version, though I'm tempted over the summer to get the trial version and just see how different it is. I'm waiting when I can have some time to really play with it. There are, like I said, there are features of PowerPoint that you can only use on the online WAM. Now, the reason why I'm not on the online is because when I purchased this, there were features on the download version that goes on your desktop that I couldn't, they were very limited on the online, which is why I didn't go there. So I don't know if those have changed. And if you are using PowerPoint online, let me know below how much picture formatting and or image formatting and text formatting that you can do on the online version, because I'd like to know. Okay, so let's turn the camera around and I will show you some tricks that I have learned that I'm using right now. And there's a couple that you'll go, ah, I love that. Ah, what? How long has that been around, right? Anyways, let's just want to show you quickly that if you go to Microsoft.com and then click on Microsoft 365 and looking for the right plan for business, you get first month free. And this is Canadian prices, but I would be probably looking at something like this because I don't really need some of these other things. So $7.70 a month is what you're looking at. And then you get a terabyte of cloud storage. But check it out because, again, as mentioned, you should be using the right legal stuff for your business. This next part I'll call formatting your text or images, and I really like having the ability to change fonts, change what these fonts can look like. This is the font APL Border Hoarder, which I learned about last year sometime. And I like it because it sticks out. And if I double click on this so that the format shape shows up, I want to click over it to text, and I can get rid of the inside by no fill, and then just outline like there. It's automatically blue, but I can go to black, and I can use that. I can put something inside this, whether it be a solid color, and I can pick my color. This is what I really like about PowerPoint is there are so many color choices, and I can use an eyedropper. So this eyedropper will let me do colors, but if I want a certain color, purple, right now, what just happened here is I had clicked the shape I wanted. So let me undo, get back over to text, and so now I've got it purple. I can make this gradient. Okay, so I can just start moving things here. Main text, right? So now you can see the color change. I can actually insert a picture into here. I often use the watercolor, and you can find a watercolor for free, but I use the Kiwi, I think she's called the Kiwi Teacher or something like that. Let me just grab one I use a lot. She's called the Inspired Kiwi, but now I've got that watercolor through the title as opposed to putting a watercolor behind it. I can just maybe add a outline, and the blue works. Okay, I could do purple. See if that makes anything. I can thicken the border if I wanted to. It's a little bit too much, but like I said, you can play with these, and that looks kind of nice. I'm just going to quickly change this. I'm going to do some solids. I'll start with that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change each color just to make it a little different. I'll just do some random ones. I like using this crayon box. There's some cool colors in here. They give you all these options of colors right up here. So if you don't like these ones, you can go to these ones. You can do the hex codes. But this is what I learned from Elementary Littles just recently. You remove the outline, so no line, right? And then what you do is you duplicate. So copy, paste. Let's try that again. Copy, paste. Okay, and then take this one and put an outline on it. I'll just do black, and all dark black for now. And then get the no fill in there. So all you have, oops, I did the wrong thing. So we want a solid line and we want a no fill. And I better go back and do the, okay, so you have this. And what you do is you just drag it up over a little bit just to, actually maybe what I'll do is I'll make it bigger, easier to see. So let's just change that to, okay, so you've got one colored without a border, and then you copy it, remove the inner, put the border back on, and then you just slide it a little bit over. Just to, again, give it an interesting effect on your title. You can include apps. I've got Pexels. It's free, but you can do add-ins here. Some cost, some don't. But like I said, I could open up Pexels here and get a background, and you're allowed to use Pexels according to their terms of use if you need them for a cover. So if I just did school. One of my favorite tools is the arrange, and it's the reorder objects. So if you are layering multiple things and you get to the point where you're like, okay, how do I, instead of clicking send to back, send to back, send to back, right? If I wanted that at the back, you know, I mean, that can go to the very back, or if I keep going backward, it just makes its way slowly. I could go to reorder and see how it does that, and then I could take where I want it to go. So I could put it there, and then it reorders it there. The other thing is I can highlight all of them, 3, 4, and I can arrange them so that they're aligned, all at the top, all at the middle. I can distribute them horizontally. I do this a lot when I'm making PDF previews. So say I've got an image, image, image. Now I have PowerPack, but how I used to do it before PowerPack, if these were all images, oops, but see how they're not very well aligned. So I would highlight all of them. You can highlight them all different ways. You can just bring your mouse over all of them, and that highlights them. Go to Arrange, Align, Distribute horizontally, and see how they're now evenly spaced out. And you can do that vertically as well, like if I did this. So if I wanted to get these vertically aligned, you can play with them until you see the bars show up, or you can highlight them all, arrange, align, distribute vertically, and now they are evenly spaced. Right? Highlight them all, move them around, turn them. I can group these two so that now these two are always together. And yet I can click on one individually and move it, right? I can do that, or they're still grouped together. One of the things that you can do in the online version is what's called auto fix, and they would have, like if I wanted to fix these, maybe they're just not all the same. There's an auto fix button. It's not in this PowerPoint version that I have. Oops. Okay, but you can check auto fix out. I've shared this one many times, but with every page of your PowerPoint, you need to have your copyright on there. People don't always read your terms of use and everything, but you still need them. In order to make a copyright, start with a text box. And there are two ways to create a copyright symbol. One is when you're in PowerPoint, you can just hold your shift key down, do the parenthesis, the bracket, lowercase c, do the other side of the parenthesis, and it automatically shows up with a copyright symbol. Or you can do Control-Alt-C if you have a PC. And on a Mac, you go Option G, and it automatically pops up the copyright. And then what you're going to do is the year, and then your store name. And I also tend to do my name. And that's my copyright. Before I save this, I'm going to use a font that I like. I could use ABL Porter like that one. And I'm going to make it smaller. 18 is too big. I usually do it about 10 because it doesn't need to be super big. But I keep it dark, and then I right click on it. Whoops, you got to make sure it comes up as Save as Picture. And then I will go 2022 copyright, and I'm going to save it to my desktop so that it's really easy for me to get it. And you can't see it, it's just off to the side. I'm going to bring it over here, I'll drag it, and so I'll drag it on the first one, I'll put it down into the corner, and then I go over to under Format Picture. I will change the color in the presets to the light gray. And there's my copyright. And then every time I duplicate this page, that copyright will be there. And if it doesn't show up, right, like I've made this one already, what I do is I just go back to one, I copy it, and paste it onto the next one, in case I forget. So that's one that people can use. One tool in PowerPoint that I'm interested in using more and more is video. And I was recently asked with one of my TPT templates if I could have a link to the YouTube video. And I was thinking about that, and I thought, yeah, absolutely, no problem. And I changed it so that the link to the YouTube video was in there. But I thought, how cool would it be if I was to put a video right here? This is a template that I use often, and it's called How I Use. And I put this in most products, not all of them, but I've just recently made a little video that goes in here. Whoops. And I just hit play. Hi, my name is Lorianne from It's All Primary, and thank you for purchasing this TPT checklist template. There are actually a couple versions in this product. So how you do this is really easy. Go onto the page that you want the video. So what I would like to do is maybe I will put in a comment here under thank you or near thank you. So I'm going to go up to slideshow, and here it says record slideshow. So I'm clicking on the little arrow, record slideshow, and you can't quite see it because it takes up the whole screen, but all my slides are down here. And the next slide's always here, so I have no problem reading it. I go up here to play, and as you notice, I'm now showing up on the screen here. So I could say whatever I need to say, and then thank you so much for, again, purchasing this product. Here are some clip art artists and font artists that I have used. Check them out. And then just hit stop. And if I like it, great. If I don't, I can trash it. Do it again, but I go back to end show you, which again you can't quite see in the corner, and here it is now. And once I click on it, I can move it around, so I could put it up there. Thank you so much for again purchasing this product. Here are some clip art artists and font artists that I have used. Check them out. And the reason why I'm kind of excited about using this more is I was recently involved in a little survey with teachers and how they like to learn. So they were asked all these different formats and which was their favorite when it came to learning. The options were podcasts,
webinars, books, social media, and the overwhelming answer was video. And if that is the case, then having snippets of video in your products might be a real attractive selling feature. So again, just go up to your slideshow and try recording. Let me know if you use that one. Like I said, I think it's going to be something worth pursuing.
Okay. It is, yeah, I love PowerPoint, and like I said, I will have links to Elementary Littles from Instagram. She has a PowerPoint tip almost every week. Many of them I know, but a couple of them have come out that I'm like, ooh, I did not know that. So it's always good to follow people that can give you some tips, right? Let me know down below what your favorite PowerPoint tip, not necessarily the ones that I've shared with you today, but maybe you have one that you love using when you are making your products and you're willing to share it. So let me know down below. I'd love to hear about it. Next video is actually on TPT templates. Templates, you know, I was told this a couple of years ago when I started. I mean, it hasn't even been 2 years since I've been on TPT. And I think I was told about templates maybe 6 months into my little journey, and I didn't do anything with it. And then I finally did, and I'm like, what was I waiting for? I'm going to talk about those. I have a new TPT, I have a new product creation template going online to, which you saw in a few minutes ago. That one's going to be going live. Those of you who have been buying my TPT templates, thank you. My templates, thank you very much. If you've got ideas of more templates that you would like to see, let me know. I have templates, but I never know if people really would use them or whether it's just me, right? Anyways, wherever you are in the world, I hope you and your family are staying safe, being healthy, and there's that Google versus PowerPoint. Yes, I'm slightly biased. Or you can check out the playlist. See ya.